So yeah, welcome everyone to our new iteration of machine learning Zoomcamp. And in this video, I will talk about the course content, what the course is, who is it for, and I'll talk about logistics, like how exactly it will be organized, how we will run it, and then at the end, I will answer your questions. So that's roughly the plan. And just to give you a teaser, this is how it will look like. So this is a screenshot from one of the videos. I think this is from week 2 about linear regression. So it will be a lot of code, and it will be some drawing on top of the code. Sometimes it's drawing like on some sort of a whiteboard. So it will be a lot of code, a lot of drawing. I hope you will like it. And I don't know, I know that the content of the course is already there because we use the same content as last iteration. Maybe you can write in chat here if you already started watching the course or not. So yeah, please let me know. And then one of the question is, will we be doing maths? So you kind of see on the slides, on this slide, a bit of math, but that's pretty much the extent of the math we will be doing. So we will cover matrix multiplication, but that's it. So we will not go any further than that. So we will not really cover math, only a little bit. So don't let this slide scare you. This course is based on a book that I wrote. Pity I don't have it with me. I should have brought it and show it to you because I have a physical copy nearby. So this course is based on the book. In fact, the first iteration was almost an exact one-to-one copy. Not copy, but like the content was the same, except for the K-serve part. I will talk about the content a little bit at the end. I had to rework it a little bit because that part in the book got obsolete. So I needed to keep it up to date. But before you ask, do I need a book to take this course? The answer is no, you do not need to take a book, but just for you to know that there is a book, and if you're interested, you can check it out. But the course can be taken standalone without any books. And the material is very similar. So that's the plan. I think I already talked about what exactly we are going to cover in this video, so I'll skip it, and I'll start with the course team. So on this slide, we have the team. So that's me. I am a principal data scientist at ALEXEY Group. I also am an author of a book that you just saw, and the content is largely based on that. So Timur is one of our teaching assistants. So Timur has taken all the courses we at DataTalksClub have had so far. So it was the first iteration of Machine Learning Zoomcamp, then Data Engineering Zoomcamp, and MLOps Zoomcamp. And Timur was very, very helpful during these courses, was always giving feedback. And I'm very happy that he agreed to join this course as a teaching assistant this time. So he was a student, now he is a teaching assistant. So Timur is a data scientist. Yeah, he has quite a lot of experience. That's why I'm actually surprised that he decided to take the course. But yeah, I've also heard from experienced data scientists that they really enjoyed the course. And Thinam, you might know him from LinkedIn. He's quite active there. And he is what I think we will talk about learning in public. And I think Thinam is doing this really well. So I think, Thinam, you are watching this right now. So maybe write hi in the live chat. It's really pleasure. It's a big pleasure to have you on the team too. So thank you for joining me and helping everyone. So moving on, this is a very frequently asked question, like what are the prerequisites for the course? So the prerequisites for the course are that you need to be comfortable with programming. So if it's your first exposure to programming and you haven't programmed in Python or anything else before, this course will be very challenging. So probably it's not the course for you. So you should be comfortable with coding. And if you don't know Python, you probably will be able to pick it rather quickly because Python is a pretty simple language and we will not be using very, very complex structures in this course. So if you have programmed in Java for the last 2 years, or I don't know, Scala or Rust or whatever, it doesn't matter. You will be able to do well in this course. And then last but not least, you should also be comfortable with command line. So doing things like git clone, or I don't know, navigating the file system, or things like this, or executing Docker shouldn't be too scary. So when you open your terminal, you do not freak out, then it's fine. And the rest you will learn, so don't worry. What is not required is previous experience with machine learning. So you don't need to know what machine learning is to begin with the course. And now let me talk about the actual syllabus. So first of all, I will talk about our GitHub repo. You probably saw it. This is how you register it for the course, I think. So yeah, let me maybe quickly open it. And one thing, so I will appreciate if every one of you now will go to the description. So there is a link in the description. It's mlzoomcamp.com. If you click on this link, and if you go to the repo and give us a star. So it's important because if everyone on this call, so right now we have 300 people, if every one of us will go now and do this and give the star to the course, it will go to GitHub trending. And if it goes to GitHub trending, more people will see it. So it will help us to spread more awareness about the course. So please do it now. I will give you some time to do this. Or maybe you already did it because, while I was talking. So please do it. It will help a lot to let more people know about the course. And yeah, and while you're doing this, maybe I will just open it and show you what we have here. So I know that for some people it's confusing what exactly we have here in this repo. There is so much information. So let me maybe give you a guided tour what we have on this repo. So first of all, there are folders. Maybe don't worry about them, just scroll down. So this is where the interesting part starts. And yeah, probably you already discovered this button. If you didn't, maybe you just accidentally bumped into this YouTube video. So this is how you register. So just click on this link, and that's all you need to do to sign up. And yeah, it just tells you what you need to do. So follow these things. The part with the content starts here. So this will be the first module. Then this is the second module. And to access the materials, you just click on, for example, if you want to watch the introduction to machine learning, so just click on this link. And then yeah, here you will have the video, right? So this is how you access it. So I hope this part is more or less clear. And what I will do now is I will just walk through the content we have. So the first module that we talked about is introduction. So you probably saw it. So I clicked on this first video, what is in machine learning. So this is just a general introduction. So on this slide, you see a bit of math, but that's like we have very little math in this course, but this is one of the formulas you will see. And this is just a formal definition of what machine learning is. So you will get familiar with this in the first module. We will talk also a bit about the process, like where in the entire process where data science and machine learning fits in, and what is the general process when working with ML projects. So this is a video about processes and Chris at the end. And then we will do a bit of math. We will talk about linear algebra. But yeah, we will talk about this from the developer's point of view. So I know that many of you are developers, and actually there is a slide at the end where I looked at demographics. So I know many of you come from the coding background, and we will look at all these formulas from the coding perspective. So we will actually implement matrix multiplication. And this way you will understand what is actually happening when we multiply matrices. And that's pretty much the extent of the math you need. Maybe there will be a few more things, like when we talk about sigmoid in module 3. But yeah, so don't worry, we will implement everything in code. And as a developer, somebody who is comfortable with coding, you will be able to understand what is happening behind each of the formulas we will see in the course. So after we do this, so this was module 1. So this is the first week. After that, we will do week 2. And on this week, we will talk about linear regression. So we will, and in general, the work we will have in this course will be project-based. So there will be a project that we want to solve, the problem that we want to solve, and we will gradually work through this problem together, explaining all the things you need along the way. So in this module, in this week, we will solve the problem of predicting the prices of cars. So we will have a data set with cars and the prices, and we will build a model, we will build a linear regression model for doing this. And we will implement things from scratch ourselves. This is just to give you a little bit of understanding that things under the hood of scikit-learn and other libraries that we use are not magic. This is just matrix multiplication, and there is nothing to worry about. And then later, so this will be the only place in the course where we will actually implement algorithms ourselves. And then for the rest of the course, we will use libraries like scikit-learn. So that's what we will do in chapter 3, in module 3, when we will cover logistic regression. So in logistic regression, we will, in this churn prediction module, we will use logistic regression. And the problem we will cover there is predicting which customers will leave our company. So let's say we have a telecom company, telecom provider, and we have a bunch of clients. Some of these clients might decide to stop using our services and go to competitors. And we want to build a model that identifies those clients, and maybe we can send them some promotional emails, convincing them to stay with us and not change the internet provider. So this is the problem we will address in module 3. And for that, we will use logistic regression, and we will not implement it ourselves. We will use a library from scikit-learn. So let's see what we have next. So next, we will talk about model evaluation. So this is a pretty important and also difficult module because it's a bit abstract, but some of you might need to rewatch this module a couple of times, but this is worth it. The reason, what we will cover here in this module is understanding how well our models behave. So here we built a model for predicting churn, but how well does it perform? And this is the model that we will devote to this. And we will talk about things like accuracy, precision, recall, ROC curves, and things like this. So these are the things that data scientists use for evaluating models. And you need to get comfortable with these things. So understanding what precision is, what recall is, it's not always straightforward and confusing, and hopefully this will help you with that. Then after that, after we covered the basics, after we learned how to use linear regression, after we learned how to use logistic regression, and after we looked at how to evaluate these models, we will go ahead and deploy these models. Because if you don't deploy your model, then this model is useless, right? So this model needs to be, you need to be able to use these models in order to understand, for example, which customers are leaving the company and which are staying. And we put the model deployment session module pretty early, immediately after we cover the basics. And in this module, we will talk about using Flask and Docker and virtual environments, all these things for productionizing our models. And yeah, this is quite important. And so since this course is focused more on machine learning engineering rather than data science, that's why we have this module quite early on. And as a machine learning engineer, this is what they do most of the time. So they productionize machine learning services, and deployment is one of the first steps that they do. So we'll cover it here. And in addition to Flask and GUnicorn and all these things that you will learn about, we will also see how to use a special software for that called Bento-ML. So here in this module, we use general purpose tools like Flask for doing this, but there are tools that are specifically designed for deploying machine learning models. And we will cover one of such tools, Bento-ML, and it will be a separate module. And by the way, so this one is a new thing. So we didn't have this thing in previous iteration. So in iteration of 1 year ago, we didn't have Bento-ML, and the book also doesn't cover that. So just for your information, and if you want to check the content right now, the content is not ready yet. It will be ready probably by the end of this month. Then, so after we cover deployment, we will learn about more complex models. So these will be models They're called tree-based models, like decision tree, random forest, gradient boosting trees. So here the models are more complex than the ones we covered previously, but they are also more powerful. So here we will focus on a different problem. So before it was churn prediction, and in this module we will talk about understanding if so in these settings we will be some sort of credit institution or bank, and we will decide if a customer who wants to get some money, a loan from us, if we should let them take a loan or not. So we will build a model for understanding if a client will default, meaning if we give them the money, will they be able to pay back the money or not? So we will build a model for that, and we will understand if we need to lend the money or not. So, and we will use tree-based models for that. And after that, you will actually need to put everything in practice. So everything we covered, starting from linear regression, logistic regression, evaluation, deployment, and tree-based models, you will need to put in practice. And for that, we will do a midterm project. So here, what you will need to do is implement everything that we showed you in the course, but you will need to do it yourself. And we will, of course, guide you, help you if you get stuck, if you have any questions. But this is when you will actually learn. Because watching courses is fun and nice, and you get an impression that you're learning a lot. But projects is when you really learn. So this is, in my opinion, the most fun part of the course, and we will have more projects, and I will tell you more about these projects later. So after that, after you do a project yourself, we will come to even more complex models. So in the module after that, after the project, we will cover neural networks. So in these settings, in this project for this module, we will build a model for classifying images. So let's say you have a picture of clothes. It could be a t-shirt or, I don't know, shoes or jacket or whatever. And then the model will tell you what kind of clothes you have on this picture. So we will build a model for that. We will use Keras for that. I know there are some people who are more into PyTorch than Keras. So I am more like a Keras person. That's why we use Keras here, because I know some of you might ask now, hey, what about PyTorch? So actually, in the previous edition, there were people who re-implemented everything in PyTorch. They shared all the nodes. So if you want to learn more about PyTorch, it's also possible, and there is code for that from the previous students, from the students of the previous iteration. But yeah, here specifically, we will use Keras and TensorFlow. And then in the next module, we will learn how to take this model, the deep learning model we trained, and put it inside, put it on the cloud. We will put this into AWS Lambda, and we will do this in a module called serverless deep learning. So we will see how exactly we can productionize our deep learning models. So we will do this in this module and also in the next one. So in the next one, we'll cover Kubernetes. So these two are quite different approaches, serverless deep learning and Kubernetes. They are very different. That's why we cover both of them. So in one case, we will use something very lightweight, Lambda, and Kubernetes is, the opposite of this, the opposite of lightweight. So this is a very heavy weight thing, but many companies use this. And in this module, we will talk about the basic concepts of Kubernetes, like what a pod is, what a node is, what a deployment is. Because the chances are when you join a company, if you are not working at a company yet, or as a machine learning engineer yet, when you join a company and you need to deploy something, it's very likely that you will need to work with Kubernetes. So that's why we cover it here. And one of the optional modules after that will be Kserve. So Kserve is a system on top of Kubernetes that simplifies things. But it's optional because it's actually very difficult to install. And only if you're really interested in these things, you can go through this and try to install this thing. Setup is quite complex, but once you set the thing up, and we will show you how to do this, once you set it up, you will be able to deploy models easier. So we will also teach that, but it will be optional only for those who are brave enough to explore this path. And I think that's pretty much it. So after that, we will have more projects. So like midterm project, we will have another project. After that, capstone project. And last year, we actually planned only to two projects, but then at the end, we made another project, a third project. So you can think of this as you will have two capstone projects, and you will be able to decide which one you want to take. Or you can do both if you're really into projects. And yeah, so we will do capstone projects somewhere in December. And December is such a month when many people go on vacation. So if you, for some reasons, are behind and cannot submit your project for capstone 1, you will get another chance, and you will do this for the capstone 2 project. So you will figure this all out as we go along of the course. But maybe last thing I want to mention is that we will also have a chance to work on articles. So let's say you want to explore a new library. So for example, in this course, we cover Flask, but you want to deploy your model with, I don't know, FastAPI, right? And you can do this, and you can write an article about this to share with your fellow students, fellow peers, and teach them how to actually do this. So we will also have a place for that as a part of the course article when you can do something on your own, write about this, and share it with others. And I think that's roughly the course. So all of that, I know it's a lot, and I didn't promise it would be easy. And actually, this whole content, like all the syllabus, it actually takes 4 to 5 months. So, and the main content will be 4 months. We are supposed to finish by the end of September, but then if we also count in the extra project and also article, then it's another month on top of that. So it's January. So it will take 4 to 5 months for you. But yeah, you will also learn a lot during this time. So, okay, I need to take a sip of water. I've been talking a lot. And I see that you are writing a lot in live chat, so I probably will come back to this a bit later. And also there is maybe what I should do, I'll just stop sharing my screen right now for a second, because I wanted to add a link, because it was only shared in Telegram. So let me quickly do this. I want to share a link to Slido. This is the place where you can ask questions. So if you're not coming from Slido, so let me just share it in live chat. So this is the place where you can ask your questions, and then we will cover them after the main part. So I'll put it to a live chat right now. Questions. So please ask your questions there. So I just pinned it. Please ask your questions there, and because it will make a lot easier for me to cover all these questions. Okay, so I shared, I think, yeah, it is in live chat. And now I will continue sharing my screen. So yeah, now please use that link for asking questions. Now we will talk about course logistics. So yeah, all the lessons, as you might have guessed already, they are pre-recorded. So all the material from the previous year, plus we'll have some new extra material. So all the videos, all the lessons are already on YouTube channel in the playlist. And I have a slide here. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you go to playlists, and you will find this machine learning Zoomcamp there as one of the playlists. So you will see all the videos there. And also in the course page, you will see, like when you click on individual units, you will also be able to navigate to the video. So that's how you find the videos, the lessons. Then we will also have live streams every Monday at this time. And they will happen at the same time, which is 5 p.m. Berlin time. Berlin is where I'm based. And this time will be devoted to answering questions. So in the previous iteration, we were also covering homework there during office hours. But what we found out eventually that actually recording the homework solution separately, not as a part of the live stream, is a lot easier than doing it live. So homework solutions will probably be recorded separately. We will still need to figure this out, but most likely that we will just spend our office hours answering your questions. And then I mentioned the projects. So for the projects, for the three projects that we will have, the logistics for this is that you spend 2 weeks on working on the project. So I should actually change it from 1 to 2 weeks to 2 weeks. And so this is when you work on this. And after that, you will evaluate your peers. So it will be a peer reviewing phase. We have some criteria like saying how exactly you should evaluate the projects for your peers. And you should think of this as an opportunity to learn from your peers, because you will learn a lot, trust me. And especially if you try to run everything that your peers did and approach it not as a duty, but more like an opportunity to learn, you will learn a lot. And we will have 1 week for doing the peer review. And actually for midterm, I think it will be, we will have a project, and then after that, we will have the deep learning module. So it will happen at the same time. And then for deep learning module, we will have like a bit more time than, so for most of the topics, we will have only 1 week per module, but for deep learning, it will be 2 weeks. And then in parallel to the deep learning module, you will also do peer review, but you will all see that as we move along. And I talked about the project here. I talked about the playlist, how you can find it. Yeah, maybe one thing, when you go to the playlist, you will see that there are videos from the previous iteration. We're still thinking what to do with these videos. What's the best way to organize them? Maybe we will move them to a separate playlist so they are not distracting. Maybe we will keep them in the same playlist, so it's not clear yet how exactly what's the best way to do this. So it's not confusing for you and also not a lot of work for us. So maybe moving it to a separate playlist will make sense, but let's see. So if you feel confused, you feel lost, you don't know what's going on, what you should do, please let us know in Slack, and we will figure out, we will immediately help you, of course, and we will also figure out, maybe it's a common problem. We need to restructure the way content looks like in our playlists. Okay, what did I not cover? Yeah, so there are more things which I'll talk about. Yeah, so we will start with frequently asked questions. I will just open this link right now. So the purpose of this link is we will have a lot of questions from students, and many of these questions will be repetitive. And to make your life easier and our life easier, we want to put all these questions in this document. This document is Machine Learning Zoomcamp Frequently Asked Questions. And so right now, these questions are more organizational. So we don't have any questions regarding the first module yet, because you haven't started working on this. But just to give you an idea how it looks like, I will open a similar document from another course that we did. And you see, this is, let me just click on one of the links. So this is, let's say, in the course, we show you how to use wget. But when you do this, it says wget is not recognized as an internal or external command. So what do you do with this? What students did is they just came to Slack and asked, what do I do? And then eventually we put this to this document, where, like, if you have a problem, you can just go to this document and find a solution. So it's pretty comprehensive, and we want to build something as comprehensive as that one, but for Machine Learning Zoomcamp. So when you will have problems, first you can, the way you should do this, you first should check this document. If you don't see your question, go to Slack, ask your question. We will figure out the answer, and then after that, we will ask you to please put the answer to this spreadsheet. So this way, we will build like this knowledge base. So then the future students, the future iterations of the for the future iterations of the course, it will be much easier, because most of the problems that the students need to deal with, they're pretty repetitive. So yeah, then for the homework. So to submit the homework, we use Google Forms. And this is how a Google form looks like. So you just, maybe I will open homework first. Oops. So all the homeworks, they live in, so maybe I'll show you how to find it. So like all the materials specific to this cohort, they live in the 2022 cohort folder. So you see it, it's cohorts/2022. And so this is the link, this is the place where I put this link, this stream. And yeah, so all the homework. So for example, for the first module, the homework that Timur prepared lives here. So you see what are the questions we ask you. So you first watch the video and then you come back, you come here for the homework, and yeah, you check like when there is a question, then you need to find the answer. So usually these are the variants, and then you need to select the right one. And yeah, we should have put a link here. We will put the link here. So there will be a link to the form, and the deadline will be in 1 week. So the deadline will be next Monday. So we will put all this information here, and we will use Google form for submitting like all these things. So I don't think I have a link right now. So maybe I'll just go for a moment, stop sharing my screen. We will try to find a link. One. Okay, it takes a bit of time, so maybe I'll come back to this later. But so actually, luckily, I have a screenshot here. So this is the screenshot of the form. And yeah, so it says what you need to do. So you need to put your email address here, and then you need to provide answers. So we will ask you some questions, and this is where you put your answers. I hope it's pretty straightforward, but if you get confused, please let us know in Slack and we will help you figure this out. And then one of the things you will see in the form is this, so learning in public links. And I want to tell you more about this. So learning in public is a great thing, and we strongly suggest you to do this when you take this course. So the idea here is you learn something new, and then instead of keeping it to yourself, you share it with I don't know, the world. So you probably have a LinkedIn account, or maybe a Twitter account, or maybe you have a blog. If you don't, you can create any of those, all of the above, or some of them, and share your progress there. And this is an example from Thinam. This is actually a 1 year old slide. I had this slide on the previous, when we previously ran it, and I'm very happy to see that Thinam joined the course team. Yeah, thanks Thinam again. So you see what he is doing here. So he's sharing his progress. It wasn't the part of the course, and he shared something like he was reading a book, Deep Learning for Coders with Fast AI, and here is just a summary of what he learned. And he did this, you see, I think he finished 300 days. Yeah, so this is amazing. I totally recommend following this approach and share what you learned with the world. This is an example from the previous iteration from Jessica. So Jessica here, she did week 4 and she decided to summarize it. So she wrote an article, and yeah, this is her post where she shares the article with her LinkedIn connections. So in both of these cases, it's LinkedIn, but feel free to use Twitter, or I don't know, if you're in TikTok, should also be fine. Although I don't know how it will look like exactly there. I'm not a TikTok user, but I trust you will figure this out. Anyways, yeah, so this is like you do this, like for example, if you do this every day, then at the end of the week, you have 7 links. And then you can take all these links and put them in the form. You separate them with line break or space. Well, any white space will do here. So you put them here in this form. And then for each of these, so we really want to encourage you to do this, and you will get an extra point. So I will talk a bit about points. but like when you do homework, for each answer, for each correct answer, you get a point. And also for each link, for each learning in public link, you also get 1 point. And this way we will have a leaderboard. Maybe I will show you a leaderboard from another course. So this is how it looks like. For this one, we don't have a leaderboard yet, but this is how it looks like. So this is the leaderboard. So we don't put your emails in plain text. It's a hash, a SHA-1 hash. And then you see that this person, this student, so they did 7 points for all the homeworks, 5 here, 7 here, and then for the project number 1, they got 55 points. And then in total, it's 90. So you have a leaderboard like that, and who will also have something similar. And yeah, for each of the homeworks, it looks like this. So like if you get the question right, you get 1. If you get the question wrong, then you get 0, and then you get some links. You get some scores for learning in public links, and also you will get a score if you contribute something to frequently asked questions. And yeah, then you get total score, and then this leaderboard is just merging all these individual homeworks into one. And we will have the same thing for this cohort, for this iteration of the course. Okay, so you might ask, why bother with learning in public? Why should I share this? So if you have this question, many of you might, I want to pause for a minute now and let you read this. So this is something what one of the students from Data Engineering Zoomcamp wrote. So I'm shutting up and I'm letting you read this. So I finished reading, so I was also reading to understand how long for you it might take to read it. So I don't know if I need to keep you convincing, so I don't want to convince you to do this. It's also might not be easy for you. It is definitely a step outside of the comfort zone for many. That's why we actually give quite a lot of points for this. Like for each link, we give 1 point. And if you do 7 of them, you will actually get more points than for the homework. And you might wonder, hey, shouldn't we encourage the homework more than learning in public links? Maybe, but I think these things are equally difficult. So if you're not into social media, for you sharing something there might be quite challenging. So we really want to encourage you. And then maybe you get lucky and also get a raise. Maybe not, but at least you will build some credibility online and you will thank us after that, trust me. So yeah, moving on. So what else did I not cover? So I talked about frequently asked questions, homework, certificate. We didn't talk about certificate. So certificate, at the end of the course, you will get a certificate, and to get it, you need to pass 2 out of 3 projects. So in this course, we will have 3 projects: midterm project, then capstone 1 and capstone 2. So you need to finish 2 out of 3, and then you pass the course, and then you get a certificate. So here we do not look at your scores for your homework. So maybe you already know all the materials and you just want to take a certificate at the end. You do the courses, you submit the courses, and then you get a certificate. Yeah, so like doing homework is not obligatory. So you can submit homework, you might skip it, up to you. Also, if you're joining this course a bit later, so for example, if you join it in October or November, the form for submitting the homework will already be closed. So you will not be able to submit the homework. But the good thing is, even if you join late, even if you're late for the midterm project, you can do capstone 1 and capstone 2 and still get the certificate. And maybe during the Christmas holidays, we will be not super active, right? So maybe during December, you can watch all the content, finish the capstone 1 project, capstone 2 project and then still get the certificate. We still want to encourage you to do homework. That's why we have this score system. That's why we have the leaderboard, and people who do homework will just be higher on that leaderboard. But then at the end, it's just a hash. So not everyone cares much about this. By the way, so what I didn't tell you is actually this leaderboard will also be public, but only if you want it. So what we did last iteration, let me show you. I think I went a bit far. So course Zoomcamp, cohorts 2021, and then leaderboard. And you see, so these are the people who finished in top 100 of the leaderboard, and they wanted to share the information about them. So the contact details, the coursework they did, any links they wanted. And yeah, so Timur actually prepared a script for presenting this information nicer, which we will use for this course, hopefully. So right now it's pretty, superficial, like I'm not good at design, but yeah, you can see, actually you can see the projects that the past students did, you can see some of the links and who these people were. So yeah, check it out. And we want to encourage you to also be active, take all the homeworks. That's why we do this leaderboard. And at the end, we also want to make this leaderboard public, but only if you agree to this. If you don't, if you want to stay anonymous, you'll be just, the internet will only know your hash, right? Which is not easy to link to you. Okay, I should not have stopped sharing my screen. I only wanted to open this thing. So I talked about certificates. I think I talked about this course, project learning in public. Yeah, next thing on the slide is, I'm just looking at the time. Oh, like I'm talking a lot. Hopefully I have answered many of the questions you had. So another thing you can help with is timecodes. So timecodes is, like I will just show you. So if we open the video, so this is the video of the previous launch, you see that there are these chapters, right? So you can use these chapters for navigating to course plan, or I don't know, calendar, or I don't know, course logistics. Yeah. So these are the time codes, and the way they look like is this. So you give a timestamp, and then you give the name of the chapter that starts at this timestamp. And what you can do to help us is put these timestamps here. Not here, or? Okay, I need to go back. So we created, just today, there was a script that I ran that created all these 121 issues. So if you want to put time codes for this, you go to this one actually might already have time codes. So please check it before doing this. And then maybe if you see that time codes could be improved. No, actually it does not have time codes. So yeah, if you want to help other students with time codes, you can do this. Maybe first write it something like I'm taking it, and then like, because to avoid that somebody else might start working on this, and then yeah, then once you finish doing time codes, then you can just paste it here, and you will be watching the videos anyways right now, so you might as well help us with time codes, and many of the students will be helpful, will be thankful to you. Okay, so this is like, remember then registering for this course, you wrote your profile, the role, and you can see that interestingly, so even though we intended, or I thought that this course is actually for engineers, for software engineers, interestingly, it's mostly data scientists who register for this course, and students, and data analysts. So if you take these top 3, none of them are software engineers, but we still have like some software engineers, data engineers. Surprisingly, we have quite a large chunk of ML engineers. I hope you will find something useful on this course too. And if you can give us any feedback, this feedback will be much appreciated, because some of you probably already know all that because you work as ML engineers. So please share feedback with us. Okay, so now I want to talk about our Slack. So now I will stop sharing my screen for a second. And open Slack. And then I'll just give you a tour in our Slack. So this is probably how it looks like when you join our Slack. Maybe you see some welcome screen first. And you might wonder, like, especially if you're new to Slack, well, what's going on, right? There are so many things. So the first thing you can do is write a few words about yourself in welcome. And this is actually, so before you do this, just want to let you know that DataTalksClub is a community for many things, not just a course. The course is just one of the activities we have there. So please keep this in mind when writing here. So please don't go to general and write like, hey, help me with the course, because for that, you need to go to a special channel, which is called Course ML Zoomcamp channel. So to find it, click Browse Channels and do Course ML Zoomcamp. I don't know why it's not auto-completing, but this is the course. And you just click Join, and then you have the course here. So yeah, there is no Discord channel. I hope I answered all these questions here. And yeah, so some people, like, for example, this shameless socials, shameless promotion, interesting content. I want to tell a few words about this things. So here, these channels are channels about sharing things with the community. And so for example, there is a place where you can share, so I'll share the event that we will, so when I will interview her. But not everyone in our community likes these channels, because some of you might find it a bit too noisy. So I want to show you how you can actually leave this. So if you want to leave a channel, one of the default channels, you just click on this thing and click Leave Channel. And then you will not, if you can't stand seeing, I don't know, LinkedIn messages, LinkedIn posts, here too, you can just leave this channel. And that's the beauty of it. So all the LinkedIn posts go to Shameless Social. And if you're not into this kind of thing, you just leave it. And all the questions, everything related to the course should happen here. Please, not in general, not in welcome, not in other channels, here in Course ML Zoomcamp. Okay, I think I stopped sharing the screen again. Okay. A few things before you jump into Slack. So I said that this Slack is not only for this course. There are many other things. So check out the list of channels we have. There are a lot of different things. So if you want to ask something about data science that is not related to the course, you can find a channel for that. It's called Data Science, or Engineering, another channel. I showed you how you can join channels. I showed you how you can see the list of channels. So take a moment, explore the channels we have there, and use the appropriate channel for asking questions. If you ask a question that is not course related, that is course related, but outside of ML Zoomcamp channel, I will delete it, because it takes a lot of time to, reach out, ask not to do this. So I simply delete it. So if you see that your message is deleted, I'm sorry, but I need to maintain my energy. That's why please go to this channel and ask questions only there. Another thing, there could be a lot of repetitive questions. That's why we have this frequently asked questions list. Check it before posting a question. Then use threads. If you don't know what threads is, you can just look up Slack how to use threads. So basically, for every message, you can reply to this message separately in a thread. So then it's very nicely organized. And please don't tag the instructors, me, when you want to ask something. I will see this eventually, but yeah, please don't. Okay, I don't know why I have an empty slide here, or maybe I wanted to talk about something. Okay, yeah, I didn't know it would take so much time to actually go through the content because you have a lot of questions. So we'll probably take a bit more time to go through the questions and answer them. So last thing, so I really want to thank Bento.ml for helping us, for supporting us. So Bento.ml is a company behind the product Bento.ml, who is working on a tool specifically for serving machine learning models. So in the course, we will see how to serve your models with Flask, but Bento.ml is a specialized tool for serving your models. So check them out. And when talking to Bento.ml, I asked them, how will you evaluate if you liked supporting us or not? And they told me that one thing that they will look at is how many people joined their Slack after supporting the course. So maybe if you like the course and you want to also help Bento.ml, they, by the way, will do a module in this course too. And they're really working on cool stuff. So I'm really happy that we have them as sponsors and also as content providers. So what I wanted to ask you, so if you like Bento.ml, please join the Slack. So they said that this is the metric they care about. So they will make this will make them happy, and they will like supporting the course, and maybe we will work more with them in the future. So I really want to thank Bento.ml for supporting us, and yeah, check them out. So they are really cool. And by the way, we also did a demo with them. So maybe I'll just quickly go to our channel, DataTalksClub, and then here in search, I'll write Bento.ml. And yeah, we did a demo. Team did a demo of Bento.ml here, so you can check it out. It's really cool. Okay, so thanks, Bento. And if you're individual and you want to support the course, you can do this by supporting me on GitHub. So on GitHub, there is a way to sponsor people. So you can just find me there, and yeah, there is this link, and you can decide in which way you want to support me. I think that's more or less it. Yeah, by the way, yeah, so I did a giveaway campaign. So remember I mentioned that there is also a book, and I did a giveaway campaign on Twitter for people who wanted to get a free book. And I promised that I will announce winners on this live stream. So I haven't published this yet, but if you see your name here, I want to congratulate you on winning the book. So please write me on Twitter or in Slack, whatever you prefer, and I will tell you how to get the book. Okay. I think it took only 53 minutes. I'm really tired of talking, so I need to. I don't know why it took so long. I need to catch my breath, and then we will go to Q&A. So for Q&A, yeah, I have it here. So these are all your questions. Whew, I don't know how I will manage to answer 107 questions right now. Let me try. So we have 6 minutes, 107 questions. Better be fast. So is this course enough to apply for jobs, and how many from last cohort transitions to data science ML field after the course? Is there any data? I don't have data. I have a few anecdotes, and you can decide if these anecdotes are, good for you or not. So I know at least a couple of people who landed internships after the course. We actually did a partnership with Delphi. This is a company. Can I do this? Delphi, like that, yeah. So we did a partnership with them. And by the way, if you are working at a company and you might consider hiring interns, you can write me and we can arrange them. But this company was very happy with the interns it got from the course. So they got 2 interns. And yeah, so they said Like I had a catch-up call with them recently, and they said they really liked the interns. One of the interns, you can actually check his interview here. So we also published an interview. It's Ken Wu. Yeah, Ken Wu. So Ken Wu here shares his story, how he took the course and how he landed internship. And after that, like he decided not to, because he was actually at school, so he needs to go to university. That's why he didn't continue working after the internship, but he went to University of Waterloo. And then, yeah, there are many stories like that too. And yeah, I think you will be pretty employable, but you need to put effort into that. So just watching the courses might not be enough. So you need to put projects, you need to create projects, and I do advise to share everything you learn in public. Okay, will we use any cloud service in the course? We will use AWS. So you can also try to reproduce everything. Like it's pretty cloud agnostic, to be honest. The only thing that is not cloud agnostic is AWS Lambda, that we will do in serverless. But I think you will be able to reproduce everything in Google Cloud or Azure or everything. But also, if you don't have access to the cloud, and if you don't want to do this, you will be able to do the entire course without cloud at all. So for the house tour, maybe later, not right now. So we don't have a lot of time now. Was there a feedback from cohort 1 takers that the course helped them in getting an internship job after completing a course? I think we covered. Any additional books or sources that you would recommend? Nothing comes to mind, to be honest. But yeah, internet is your friend. You can also, if you're not sure if a particular resource is good or not, you can share the link with us. I also don't know if you will actually have time for extra stuff. You can check the analysis done by Timur last year, like how much time some of the students invested. It was, I think, 10 hours per week, so 5 hours on watching the material and then 5 hours on homework. So I don't know if you will actually have time for extra stuff. Yes, you will see a certificate. So why is it called Zoomcamp? Yeah, that is a funny story. So the book that was original source for the course is called Machine Learning Bootcamp. And then I thought, okay, like how about a course based on the book? And then I thought, okay, we will probably use Zoom for hosting the course. Then Bootcamp, Zoomcamp seems like a nice play of words here. So that's why the idea was to name the course Zoomcamp. But what happened after that is in Zoom, there is a limit on the number of people who can be in the Zoom call, right? It's up to 100. And then right now I see that there are more than 300 people here in this live stream. So Zoom will not be able to accommodate for that many people. It actually will be, but it is very expensive. Like it's a very expensive plan if I want to be able to host that many people. So that's why eventually we settled down on YouTube. But renaming it to YouTube Camp, it kind of loses this, play on words. And so that's why the name kind of stuck. So it's Zoomcamp and Bootcamp. And yeah, and it became sort of a brand probably because we also have data engineering Zoomcamp. We have MLOps Zoomcamp. And yeah, so I don't know if any other communities or people are doing Zoomcamp. So probably Zoomcamp is now associated pretty strongly with DataTalks.Club, which is a good thing, but it has nothing to do with Zoom. So actually I use Zoom right now for broadcasting. So I have a Zoom call with myself. And that's a lot of fun, right? But for you probably see that there is Zoom's watermark, but for you, it's YouTube. Yeah. So at the end, we still use Zoom, right? So it kind of qualifies for Zoomcamp. Can I complete it early, like within 1 to 2 weeks, if I spend 3-4 hours daily? I think so. But the thing is, homeworks for this cohort are not ready yet. So you can watch all the materials now, but then for the homework, you will need to to do this with other, like with the rest of the cohort. So I don't think we will be able to release all the homework in advance. We'll also need to prepare it. So it will be different homework from the last year. But yeah, you can watch all the video now. You can start doing your project now. You can already look at the projects from the previous iteration and then get inspiration, and you can start working on your projects. And then actually, like at the end, all you need to do at the end is projects. So if you start working on the project, you will be able to finish it early. But then you will need to submit it at the same time as others. I think we covered that. Can we add this certificate to our resume? Or by all means. Is Machine Learning Bootcamp a recommended complementary reading? I'm inclined to say yes, but I don't want to like push the book into your face and say read it. It's up to you if you want to read it or not. You will be able to complete the course without reading the book. If you want to support me, yeah, you can buy the book. You will like it. So the only thing that is outdated there is the half of the last chapter on K-Serve, because K-Serve has changed since then, but you will like it. So yeah, you can check like a preview. If you like it, buy it, but you do not need to have a book to finish the course. To get a feeling for the difficulty of the course, can you share what is the percentage of students that reached a certificate? So I don't want to discourage any of you. It was a pretty difficult one. So in total, last year, when the course started, it was 6,000 registrations. It's similar now. We also have, I think, 5,500. 400 of them finished the first homework, and less than 100 got a certificate. So you can get a feeling of like only one quarter, kind of like even less, maybe one fifth of those who attempted the first homework finished. And I think it's also because of the pace. So it's pretty demanding in terms of time, I would say. And maybe if you feel like you are a bit behind, don't worry. It's okay. You can take this course at your own pace. And then maybe like you just do a project at the end, like these two capstone projects at the end. So yeah, don't stress too much about this. It can be demanding. And at the end, certificate at the end is not maybe as important as the knowledge you're getting from this course. So if you feel like you're losing it, please take it easy, because it is it might be not an easy one. Are our homeworks checked, and is there a deadline for them? If yes, where to send or submit? I think I answered that. So there are deadlines, and there will be a form for them. Is there a course in DataTalks.Club on LMP? No, not yet, at least, but not in the immediate future for sure. Will there be any other office hours? Yes. Besides Mondays, no. So that's the time that works for me. Sorry, but you can watch. I will release the form, this Slido thing where you can ask questions in advance. So you can ask your questions there, and yeah. So I will leave this unanswered. Is the certificate recognized by employers? I guess. I don't know. Any intention for deep learning kind of Zoomcamp for the future? I'm not really knowledgeable in deep learning, so I know a bit, like a few things there. That's why we have deep learning in that course, but not much. So maybe if there is a lot of demand for that, and if we find the right instructors, which book would you suggest for theoretical machine learning to follow up with the course? With this course, you don't need any theoretical book. In general, maybe Foundation Elements of Statistical Learning. Yeah, that's one book that could work well. It's pretty math heavy. So yeah, that is a good book. So it's Elements of Statistical Learning, and it's free. You can find it online. Will we be able to reproduce our own hash to check where we are on the leaderboard? Yes, you will be. This is a hash of your email. How is course progress? Of course, takers. Yeah, the leaderboard, I guess. I have read on subreddit that you were preparing ML engineering roadmap. Do you have it ready? Well, that's the course, right? So the course is the roadmap. Now, cloud credits will be given for the course, maybe. So I recently were announced, like AWS decided that I am machine learning hero, and they gave me some cloud credits to use as I wish. So I think I might give some credits for course participants, but I will not just give them away for, I don't know. I probably it will be some sort of a hackathon or some sort of competition. So I will not just give them away. Can we work completely in Google Colab? For part of the course, yes, but not for everything, because there will be deployment modules. You will not be able to do them in Colab. Can you please recommend some sources? I think I answered that. Can I learn GitHub on the go? Yes. Is there any video for setting up the environment for the course? Yes, there is. If you go to Module 1, Unit 6, I think, you will see a video to a different course, MLOps Zoomcamp, but the setup you will need to do is very similar to that one. So just follow the same setup and you'll be good to go. I have Windows 10 with BSL2. I'm trying to create Docker container as you suggested. I failed. Is it necessary to use Docker? Yes, it is necessary. Please figure out how to set up Docker. If you can't do this on Windows 10, you can rent a machine in the cloud. But if you want to work as a machine learning engineer, you have to know how to use Docker. For the course, you might get around without Docker. But if you want to consider seriously your career in ML engineering, you have to be able to install Docker. With Python basics and library are better to be known as prerequisites, classes, functions, loops. Yeah, check the course, the module 1. You'll see the answer. I think I answered that. Should we clone repository from GitHub? It doesn't matter. I think for SSH, you need to have an account. HTTPS, you don't. I will keep answering for 3 more minutes. And then for the rest of questions, I'll try to see if there is any patterns and then maybe answer them in Slack or in next office hours. What is passing score to get a certificate? Yeah, don't worry. Like it will be like if you put effort in the project, you will pass them. So do you think that everyone will be able to cope with the course? I think I answered that. Should we know MLOps? Well, I wouldn't consider Docker as a MLOps tool. You do not need to Docker to start the course, but you need to be able to install Docker. If you don't know how to do this, check 1.6 video, or it's actually a unit, on how to do this in a cloud machine. Do you think that everyone will be able to cope with the course? Did I not just answer that? Can we create study groups? Yeah, of course, please do this. What will be the minimum effort week? Yeah, like I think 10 hours. Okay, that's something actually I asked I asked myself to cover that. So we have 2 things. So we have Slack and Telegram. So what is the difference between them? So in Slack, it's for you to ask questions and get support, and Telegram is more for announcements. You don't have to join Telegram if you don't have it. Many of you might not have it. All the things that I post to Telegram will be automatically reposted to Slack. What are the minimum system requirements to run these machine learning tasks? Yeah, access to internet, I guess. That's all you need. I mean, if you use something like Chromebook, maybe you will not be able to do this. To do this locally, you might need to connect to a cloud provider. What you can do is you can create an account on GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and you will get $300 in free credits. Then you can also, like on AWS, there is also free tier, so check it out. Will it be necessary to go deep into the math of machine learning? No, at least not for this course. If you work as a data scientist, you might need to do this. If you will work as ML engineer, unlikely. Maybe yes, maybe not, depending on where you will work. I hope there would be follow-up videos with how to be more hireable as ML engineer. Yeah, so for that, you can just check our DataTalksClub. So if you go, so let me just DataTalksClub, and you can check our podcasts. And we like the podcast that we have is centered centered around career topics. You will find a lot of content related to that, and also events in general. Like, for example, just keep an eye on what we have, what kind of events we have. We also have workshops. That, for example, tomorrow we will have a workshop about DBT. So DBT is a tool for creating transformational pipelines. So yeah, you will find a lot of content here. So actually, I don't think I have time to keep answering your questions. Sorry, I should have kept for less time and then reserve more time for your questions. I will try to still answer them. I'll see what is the best way of doing this. But yeah, thanks a lot for joining me today, and please have fun learning. And if anything, write in Slack and we'll help you. So yeah,